Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And you never guess who this is. Who are you?
The Apprentice.
Grasshopper.
The Grasshopper. Yeah,
Grasshopper.
that's really good.
Have you been walking on the rice paper yet, Grasshopper?
No, not with this weight.
Oh, oh dear.
Yeah, it's been
Uh,
a while, eh?
yeah. Since we had a chat, you mean?
Yeah, that must have been
I
last
thought you were
fall.
playing hard to get or something.
Been busy.
Busy?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it has been how long since you stepped into the light,
two
out
year,
of the dark
two
side?
years and 2 months.
And when we say the dark side, what are we talking about?
You're gonna get me in trouble. Speaking of trunk mounts, I
Oh my
still have my
goodness.
truck mount,
Oh my goodness.
and
And
we
it's
got.
not a truck mount, it's a boat
There
anchor.
we go. Got it. Motor fixed. The unit fixed. Was testing it out. I was gonna sell it. Transmission went on it. So yeah, $2,000 I've spent, and the transmission still doesn't work. I haven't spent any money on the transmission, but towing it and getting everything fixed. And so now what we're going to do with it is we're waiting to find a cheap tranny for it and put that in. It's going to cost me about $1,700, which I think yeah, for that price I'll do it. But in the meantime, we're going to hook it up at my buddy's place and we're going to turn it into a rug cleaning plant at his garage and try and recoup some of the money this year for people that want me to, take their rugs out and clean them.
Is it gas your van runs on or
Yeah,
propane?
gas.
Oh, ooh, a little pricey to run it then, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad, as long as it's not
What
driving.
year is it?
It's an '07 Ford E250, the extended one.
Oh,
Yeah. But it sure runs nice when, the fact that Johnny is missing third gear.
who needs third gear?
Everybody.
Apparently, eh?
Yeah. So, anyways, so that's a sad story, but it's gonna work out. I think I'll make my money back on it at least, and then maybe get the tranny in and sell it. But yeah, as soon as it's running and I can get it on the road, it's on the market. It's just
So,
too much headaches.
yeah. So you're glad you've become a VLM guy?
I am, and we have a convert.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah. I told you a bit about this last time. The guy that I learned carpet cleaning from worked with him back when he just had a portable for a year. Then we got the first truck mount. I worked for him for 10 years. He moved up here, and he gave his business to his son when he left the Lower Mainland. And he's been coming on me with some jobs. He was quite skeptical at first. Yeah, part of that was because I was still learning, right? And we'd
Yeah.
do a job, and he'd say, "Oh, truck mount can you better?" I go, "Yeah, I probably could, but this is what I've got." And as long as the customer's happy, then it's good enough. His tune changed this year. We went on jobs. I learned a bit more. Always experimenting, and he was actually telling this one customer what a great system this is. It just shocked me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
and so
there is a definite learning curve, isn't there?
there is definitely a learning curve. And I remember early on in the forums, guys giving Damien, like they keep saying Damien, it's Damon, a thing about buying this product and how this stuff doesn't work. And I just realized, it doesn't work because you haven't put enough effort into figuring it out. And so it's easy to go back to what you know, tried and true, right? Tried and true.
Right.
So,
I think one of the things that people who dive into this don't understand is that it will take you longer to clean a carpet.
if
than a
it's,
truck.
yeah, yes, because truck, if it's a small job, you can just zip in and zip out. But
Yeah, because you're not even pre-vacuuming, are you now?
right. But
Now you are.
on larger jobs where it's not too bad,
Uh huh.
this is much faster.
Yeah.
So there's trade-offs. But I'd still rather do what I do this way than pack hoses.
And how are you charging now?
Charges by the square foot still.
And you weren't before.
Oh yeah, always have been.
Oh, you were.
I'm
Oh,
charging more now.
Uh huh. And is that a problem?
No, actually, I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 people in the 2 years object, about price.
What's your square foot right now?
45.
Oh, and your minimum is?
It's stated as 160, but in my marketplace, I have a lot of elderly people with really small places. And so I will judge according to how much time it takes me. So I don't go below 120, but I'll fluctuate depending on what they want.
Okay.
It's typical. You'll get three bedrooms and a set of stairs. You'll get a living room and a set of stairs. Like, well, I don't do like living room, dining room, hall, stairs like we used to do. So in my marketplace, that's quite common.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still making over $120 an hour. Like if it's $120, that job's like a 45-minute job.
And the overhead is
Is nice and low.
nice and low. Nice and low.
Yeah, just got the numbers back from the bookkeeper for last year.
Uh-huh.
My overall sales were up 25%, almost exactly, and my take home was up. I think, oh, I have to go by memory. I think it was like 15,000 more. So
So why do you think the tickets were up higher?
tickets are up higher because I held firm to the minimum charge for those that could afford it,
Yeah.
um, and and just the overhead is lower. So that's all I can think of.
But you when you said you did 25% more
The gross sales.
gross,
Yeah.
but you also had put your pricing up too a little bit.
No, that was only just recently. I
Oh,
was I was at the same price all last year.
okay. What were you at last year?
40.
Okay, so now you're 45.
Now I'm at 45.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Any idea what your average month is now?
No, I haven't looked at that closely, but I'm having a lot more days that are over 600 or 700.
Yeah.
Like when I'm busy now.
Describe to
I'm
the
a lot
people
closer
where
to,
what is your area like?
so
Demographics or
yeah. So
whatever.
demographically, I'm in a town of maybe 40,000 spread out. And then there's a bedroom community that's retired, wealthy people on the lake, about half hour out. So those are my two main areas. So I make a really good money when I'm out in the retirement area. In town is, I don't make quite as much, but then I'm not traveling very far.
Right.
I mean, it's 7 minutes from end of town to the other end of town, for the most part.
And comparatively to when you compare the results that you are getting, using the VLM now, you're using rotary like me,
Yeah.
and compare that with when you were truck mount cleaning. Are you frustrated with the results? Are you happy with the results? Are you finding it better, and are you enjoying it?
Okay, I'm going to forget half of that. I'll work backwards. I'm enjoying it because when I did have a truck mount, when we got all fixed up, and for the week that it ran, using it brought back all the nightmares of truck mount cleaning. There's times when I would prefer to have it. Definitely when you've got like a set of stairs and that's it. It's just way more convenient. But I'd gladly trade that off with what I'm doing now. It's easy on the body. That's the biggest
Physically,
thing.
this is easier.
Physically, way easier.
Yeah,
Um,
because the motor and the end of the stick does the work.
Does all the work, yeah. Yeah, you're never rushing. You're just kind of casual, and you have time to, the vacuum properly and
Partly
spot.
because you're charging more,
Part of that
and
is,
your
as
overhead
well.
is lower. You don't have that in the back of your mind that, oh no.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about it breaking down and have that anxiety, which is quite a lot.
Because when it breaks down, it's $1,000 or more.
Yeah, and then you're all out of work because you have to either hopefully postpone those jobs and not lose them. So yeah, so that's another great benefit. I told you I'd forget the other half of the things about the difference. I mean, it's in bad weather, it's way nicer.
Hmm.
Definitely way nicer when it's raining out, which doesn't happen a lot where we live. A couple times the beginning of the spring and
Don't have to worry
the
about
fall.
the things freezing really. You can bring
That's
stuff
right.
in.
You bring everything
easily.
in. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have a garage. I do,
yeah.
but you
You're
don't.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's easy to bring stuff in. Um,
What is your biggest, I guess, a complaint or frustration about VLM now?
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing you said. So the biggest thing is the wear areas when you get really bad, and this most of the time it's not a problem. You just go slower and you try different things, but the odd time I'm thinking, oh, I'm not certain, but then I can pull out the portable, and hit it with the wand and see for myself,
Hmm.
and that's something I need to do a bit more of just to give me that 100% that I'm right that this is not making any difference. Like it wouldn't matter if someone came in with a truck mount.
You
It made
know,
a
the funny
difference.
thing is, I never do that.
You never think that way.
Never.
Yeah.
and because I know what I'm looking at, and I know the difference between visible, soil as opposed to apparent soiling, which is what wear is.
Yeah.
And I think, and also what is a real game changer in the last little while. What has been the biggest game changer in the last few months? Can you think of it?
The biggest game
In
changer?
the last few months using your rotary, what did I say? Hey, you got to do this now, and it was the biggest game changer. Come on now.
The Iron Man? The Hogs Hair. These had that over a year ago.
So you,
Yeah. I've switched away from I don't use the red pads anymore.
why?
I like them. I like them for commercial,
Hmm.
and I would once in a while when I wasn't certain, I'd try them on residential. But that was only for the first couple of weeks. I tried it on a few jobs and I go, no, it's not better. I'm now almost convinced that the Hogs Hair is better for commercial as well.
Okay, I use Hogs Hair on 99% of my jobs,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you where you really see it. There's certain things that it really does well. Well, actually everything, but when you get into the polyesters that have the oily buildup, it cuts through it like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely works better than any of the other fiber pads. I still carry white fiber pads with me for certain applications, but yeah, it's makes a big difference.
Yeah. Then I'd say the biggest thing I've learned now is because we use Nanomax, right,
Yeah.
as our primary cleaner, and then we boost it with stuff. When I get into the tougher ones now, then I'll use um, like Rocket. Rocket Revive It?
Revive It Rocket.
Yeah, I'll use Revive It Rocket.
Why do we have?
I have no idea.
I have a hard time remembering
never
every
remember
time when on my videos I'm saying I'm going to use Rocket, and I go, wait a minute, I can never quite remember the
Because it's
name.
Radical Rinse is the other one.
Radical
and they're
Rinse.
both R's,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
that's
get
what
stuck.
it is. Yeah.
So
We're old.
yes. And as I was telling you earlier, there's two different jobs I did, commercial jobs. What a difference. Making Rocket the primary thing and then boosting it 1 ounce with the Nano.
Hmm.
And the second commercial job I did, it was way worse than the first one, and it cleaned up way faster. So the first one I did, I was using the Nano with a bit of the Rocket as a booster, and it didn't come up very well in the traffic area. All the offices did except for the main office, where the boss was, where everybody the troop in and collect their pay, I guess. And so I ended up using this Surround Omega as a pre-spray, and then that took care of it. So this other one, which is a day later, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna try the way it's recommended, and you could see it as you're swiping it back and forth. You could see it change, and it's very satisfying when that happens.
Now, one of the things that sometimes the objections that we have read on some of the comments from people who say you got to use a truck mount is I say, well, when you walk in the door with this ridiculous machine or whatever, how do people react?
You know what? It's the funniest thing is when I walk into the vacuum and go, "That's it."
Yeah, I've had that happen too.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
When they see the rotary, they go, "Oh, this is interesting. How does this work?"
Yeah.
I said, "Let me tell you." I get all excited, and that just makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
The first year, I had two customers that didn't like it at all. They had some previous carpet cleaning experience, so they had a bit of a biased view.
Probably had original chem dry.
Maybe, yeah, but it's so rare. And if I detect that people are uncertain because they're hovering around, I say, hey, can I explain how this works? And they go, yeah, please do. And then you show them the pads,
Yeah.
and then they go, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Have you had people comment to you like, hey, you're vacuuming?
The odd time, not as often as I thought I would get. It's more about the fact I think that's all I'm going to do.
I've actually had people, I've been vacuuming and then they look at me, the carpet after I've vacuumed, wow, that looks wonderful. And I said, yeah, but I actually haven't cleaned it yet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I had that happen once.
How are you liking that new vacuum that is a SIBO?
The SIBO has been great. Mostly because when we had I was trying to look around at your vacuums, the canister type, they get that stinky skin smell after a couple of days.
Oh,
you have to clean them out every night. Anything that's got a canister.
The workhorse.
Yeah, anything like that.
I would wash mine.
Well, yeah, but that's then you got to clean the filters and with the SIBO, because of the way it's designed, you just pull the bag out.
Throw it away. Yeah.
Just put another bag in. That's all there is.
Yeah, I have a SIBO as well as a hush tone.
Yeah, and it pulls from the sides when you go along the wall. It pulls stuff like dead flies and stuff that are stuck in the little crack where the tack strip is.
Uh-huh.
It pulls them right out of there. So
Mm.
that's kind of nice. So you get less having to go around with a wand
Mm-hmm.
with a crevice tool on it.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts down on that by quite a bit.
Hmm. So are you, do you have any regrets about dumping the truck mount and going VLM
I
100%?
don't think I'd be in business today if you hadn't shown me this method, honestly. I think the cost of maintaining it and the cost of running it, I wouldn't have made enough to survive. I mean, I've told you this before, but the business sense you've given me alone saved my business.
Mm.
Never mind the savings in cost and the increase in income, because I just didn't really have a because it's a cash business. You don't really know where you're at as an unexperienced business person. I always had lots of cash in the busy time, so I didn't know how to evaluate that.
Mm.
And
Right.
then when January, February come, then you were, it was tough. So last year was the first year I was actually put enough away to get me through January, February.
That's a nice place to be, isn't it?
It was a nice place to be. Yeah, a lot less stress. I was able to order products and get me ready for this year even. So
So you're in a much better position now as the season is beginning, really.
yeah,
You know, it's still cold these days for crying out loud. We had snow the other day and it was -5 last night here, right?
yeah. I actually forgot to tell my wife to plug in the truck mount.
Whoops. Oh dear.
I don't think it's going to be a problem because it wasn't -5 for 12 hours, but that's the kind of the cutoff point for
That's
us.
the problem with these. You gotta have. It's like having a problem child, right?
Well, yeah, because I stayed overnight in Kelowna last night, right?
Mm.
Helping my daughter move. I wasn't expecting to do that, so I thought when I go home I'll just plug it in, and then I forgot. You get
Oh,
visiting with people, and
yeah.
so
Oh dear.
yeah,
So this is so much simpler, the VLM.
it's simpler in a lot of ways. But it takes a lot more thinking,
When you're
and
actually, I was gonna get there. Yeah, yeah.
and you have to be willing to experiment. And go. You know what? I think it could be better. What else do I have to try?
Hmm.
And as I get more familiar with the products we use in the product lineup, then I'm better at picking the right product right off the get go.
Yeah,
And one thing that I've learned too is I'm not certain, just hit it with another Iron Man, see how much is pulling up.
yeah. That's a good
And
point. Yeah.
and then you can tell, especially if you over wet it, no big deal. You just keep going
Yeah,
over it.
and it takes very little time, right? When you go,
Yeah,
oh, I'll do one more pass, big deal. It's
yeah,
like 5 minutes because once you've done your pre-scrub, everything else is much faster,
yeah,
right? Because you pre-scrub with your fiber pad, that's where it takes all the time, and that's actually where you see the most difference.
yeah,
And then you throw the Iron Man down, and that's done in like a quarter of the time. And if you think, well, maybe I'll flip, you look at your pad, you go, oh, it looks pretty bad, and then you realize, well, I should at least do side B or a second pad or
yeah.
whatever.
Or even a third or fourth side, depending on
Whatever, because you're charging enough to do it.
That's right, exactly. And you want to be happy with what you've done.
And not only that, but have you experienced the when people say, I wanted to try this, and I got 3 or 4 other people that want it like they're going to refer if they're happy. Have you had that happening?
No, I get a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
I actually just landed a small apartment complex. Um,
Are you getting more referrals?
um, I stopped asking people how they heard about me.
You should do that.
I should do that, and I have been doing it up
It's
until
a good
just
thing
recently.
to be just keeping track of. We actually when Linda does this bookings, she writes it on like on every appointment. We almost always ask, where did you hear of Oxy-Dry? And we keep track of it. We know where the calls are coming from.
Okay.
Now it's interesting though, like sometimes even in the past when people say, well, I got you from the phone book. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where they initially heard of you, but that may be where they called
Yeah.
from. They went to look for the phone number, but now it's different now because people now it's where'd you hear of it? Well, internet.
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe we'll ask, well, did you go to the website? Most of the time it's just Google, and your reviews came up, and away
Yeah.
it's game over. So
Yeah. So this last small apartment I got, the lady said, "Hey, we need to get 2 quotes." So I went there and did a measure up for her. It was only like a $500 job. It wasn't big, and submitted the quote. And she said in the quote I told her my process. I said it's going to dry in an hour and a half, and the tenants will come home after work and they won't be walking on a wet carpet. And I got a reply the next day. Yeah, they didn't look at anybody else. They liked the fact that it was going to be dry right away, And because I do work for a restoration company that had done a flood damage for them, and they recommended me, or the fact that I work for them, and they were happy with the work that they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's that we don't care about anybody else. So
Nice to have that, be in that position, though.
yeah, yeah.
Eh?
And it's funny. I trained this guy out in about an hour from where I live, and he told me the other day he's got this huge hotel. It's a resort area, ski resort area, and he was asking about pricing because they want to. It's 5 stories. All this hotel, and he's saying, "Well, I won't do anything unless at least there's 10 rooms." I go, "Yeah, but if there's 10 rooms on 5 floors, that's 2 a floor. How much setup is that?
Yeah.
You're going to go all the way to the 5th floor with your hoses to the, start in the middle and go all the way to the end." He said, "Oh, I've got enough hose to do it." I'm going, but do you want to do that?
A lot of work.
I said, like this, I've been telling you about the low moisture. I mean, this is the best thing for that kind of a business.
Yeah.
You can get rid of the odors.
Yeah.
It's dry. They can get it done that morning and book it that afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're not dragging hoses around. And I mean, a hotel room,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Win-win-win.
Yeah, 10 minutes. You could, if they're all on the same floor, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You do 5 that you've got 5 done in an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
you're
less,
making really good money.
way less overhead.
Yeah, but he's not convinced.
That's okay. You can't. You can't. Well, you could fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna have to cut it off here because my battery is about to go dead. So, any last? You can sign off and last words. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Excited to go down to the coast when this guy gets his equipment in. He's got a swirly that's ordered, waiting for it to cross the border. So me and my friend are going to go down and show his son on a couple jobs, and I'm really anxious to see how the thing works. I might end up getting one.
Okay.
So those that reply to this video, if you got one, tell us what you think of it.
Oh yeah. Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for the conversation as usual, Roger.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch and the ongoing saga.
Yeah. Next time we work together, we'll do another one.
Okay. And he stole my Orbot today. He's going to go do a big commercial job. When are you doing that job?
I got the next 2 Saturdays
Oh, okay.
booked to do with some banks. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Have fun with that, eh?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
And he's coming to help me at the end of May. Is it May, March? When are we doing that big job?
Yeah. I can't remember.
May. I think it's in May.
Okay. Yeah. It's in the book.
This will be the third time.
I'll be there.
Third time we'll be doing that
On
big
that
condo.
job, yeah.
Yeah. All righty. We'll let everybody go. Thank you for watching and have a great day.